Hey there, posture guys and gals, and welcome back to the show. As always, I'm your host, Justin Archer, aka the Posture Guy, your #1 source on pain, posture, and performance. And I'm very excited to be bringing this video to you today. So excited, in fact, that I have excitement just coming out of my pores. I mean, you can see it there. Okay, technically there are goosebumps. It's a little chilly outside, but I like to think it's excitement. And I'm really excited for a couple reasons. Number one, after a week break, I'm back on Bulletproof Coffee. If you haven't caught the post I did on Bulletproof Coffee, the reason every 2 months I take a week off is to give my adrenals a chance to kind of take a break and regenerate, which is important to do if you haven't been off caffeine in more than 2 months. So that's number one. But number two, and I think this is more so, is there's some really big stuff happening behind the scenes here of theposture.com. Some things that I am really excited to share with you today and in the coming future, in the coming weeks and months. Really excited about. And you see a lot of stuff on the table here. You got bands and balls and straps and the spoon mat here and all kinds of stuff, and we're going to get to all that. As a matter of fact, there's so much to go over and so much excitement. I could easily turn this into an hour-long video, and I'm not. So we're going to split it into 2 parts. One is going to be about the business, and I'm not talking about like, hey, here's what I'm writing off this year, because that'd be, I think, kind of boring unless you're really into taxes. No, it's about why I started the business, where I see it is now, where I see it going, and like I said, I want your input. And there is some, like I said, really cool stuff that I'm working on that I want to let you guys in on, that I think you're also going to be really excited to learn about. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And then later this week, I'll put up the second part of the post. We'll talk about, these are all things, the stuff you see around me that I've used, that you've heard or seen me talk about in recent posts, probably over the last month. Some are newer things like the spoon mat and the polar heart rate monitor and some apps I've been using. So that'll be in the second post. So stay tuned for that, but definitely stay tuned for this one, because I would say, as much as I love the gizmos and gadgets and tools and stuff, like I said, the business stuff I have to talk about is huge, so huge. And let me preface this announcement with a little background story, so you can kind of have more context of where it is I'm coming from. So, and especially for those of you who don't know haven't gone to the About page and seen, how the postureguy.com came to be, how I became the Posture Guy and all that, I'll try to give you the Sparks Notes version, which essentially I was a client before I was a therapist. So I've been in the health and fitness industry for a decade, whether it be working in a health food store or being a personal trainer. I used to do some amateur bodybuilding, but I'm trying to think how long ago it was. Almost a decade, like 8.5, 9 years. I had a torn rotator cuff muscle. I couldn't lift my arm above 90 degrees without excruciating pain, even if I helped it with this. That was just really painful. I had a torn medial meniscus and medial collateral ligament, aka MCL, here on my left knee. I was in a knee brace and was limping when I walked, and I couldn't run. And I had lower back pain and sciatic nerve pain on my left, all down my left side. And again, I was only 19 and a half, 20. So, you can't say it was old age or anything like that. It was just, I was out of alignment, but I didn't know any better then. And I was lifting weights and everything. And it's not like I did a lift, felt something pop or tear, and oh my gosh, that hurts so much. It was just gradual wear and tear. And I tried a good, 1 or 2 dozen different types of methods and modalities before I heard about posture alignment therapy. And I heard about it, it made sense. And with like most things, and I'm sure you're like this too, I was both optimistic but also partially skeptical. And so I went through through a series of sessions with a therapist. But I have to admit, and I can remember to this day, writing out a check, because back then I still used checks, and I'm sure you guys did too back then. But I remember writing out the check for 8 sessions for $1,495. And again, you gotta think, I'm 19 and a half, not making a lot of money, had to pull some of that out of my piggy bank, so to speak, out of my savings account. And so I remember my hand was shaking, not just because my shoulder was hurting like crazy, but because I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of money, what am I doing? And, but if I knew now if I knew then what I know now, the value that I would have gotten, I would have gladly written a check for 2, 3, 4, even 5 times as much, because the value I've gotten over it grows exponentially the older I get, because not only was I able to get pain-free in 2 months and fully functional in 3 months, I went from not being able to lift my arm overhead to being able to do handstands with the aid of a wall, got back to running and everything, but also exponentially. I get into my late 20s, my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, my 60s. There's all these things that people associate with, old pain and your body wearing down and all that stuff. I'm able to avoid that because now I know I have the knowledge and the tools to avoid that. So the value is definitely there. And over the years, I worked in a clinical setting in San Diego. About 16 months ago, when we moved out of San Diego, I started thepostureguy.com, which, thank you for coming. If it's your first time, hi. Started this and have been working with people. So again, it's been a lot of years, a lot of hours, a lot of time spent getting to where I'm at, not only for myself, but also helping friends and family and my clients, find solutions to their health problems, whether it be chronic pain or, losing weight, or they have some type of autoimmune disease or disorder or syndrome or something like that. And throughout that time, I've kind of always thought, I was like, man, I love doing posture alignment therapy and all that. I wish there was a way to make it more accessible, because I have heard, and I'm going to be totally transparent with you as far as business, cost, and everything. Some people are like, oh, I want to do Skype therapy. I just don't have $1,200 or technically $1,195, to invest in that. And, that's why I put out free content, because I want to help people, and I want to make sure there's not a barrier there and try to take away the excuse of, money. And don't get me wrong, not having money or something like that, trust me, we all have budgets, I get it. It's a legitimate excuse, but I want to try to take it away so that people can get some benefit and some help, whether it's free, or low cost. And I've always wanted to put together a course for people, because then I could lower the entry price into the things I have to teach at a lower level. Because we all know, whether it's construction or plumbing or just anything, when you include a service, that's where a lot of the price comes in. It's the trading, the professional's time for their expertise and the hours that they spend with you. And that's why, the price that they have, why they are what they are. And I always thought, it'd be great to put together a course. And if any of you have an online course, or an online business, you know that having an online course too is a great way to, one of the best ways online to make money. But it's something that, because you can automate it, right? You do the work once, and then you can promote it, and people can purchase it and benefit from it. But you can make hundreds of dollars while you're sleeping. That sounds great, right? And I thought, yeah, that's cool too. The only problem is, posture alignment therapy, it's so customized to the individual, right? Because the reason why you might have lower back pain is different than the reason I used to have lower back pain, is different for a different reason for a 14-year-old girl that has lower back pain, is different than a 23-year-old professional football player has lower back pain. You get it. And so it requires a different selection of exercises sequenced in a different order, and that you can't really automate. Or you can try, but you get kind of cookie cutter or general exercise routines. And I'm just not comfortable with putting something that I think is subpar quality of a course out there and charging for it. So that's why I've never released a course. But over the last few months, probably the last 6 to 8 months, I've started to figure out, from all my years of working with people, certain common denominators in people's lifestyle, certain aspects of life, how people breathe, eat, sleep, move, stand, sit, play, drive, all these things, that no matter what the person came into me with symptom-wise, I started noticing these common denominators people had that they were missing, right? They had little missing portions of, if you want to call it, physical education that they just were missing, that I was like, and once we corrected that, wow, they improved. And so this little light went off in my head, kind of like this light above me. I'm looking at the viewfinder here. That's kind of funny that I mentioned that. It's kind of like, ding, idea. This light went off in my head, and I thought, okay, here's something that I can put together in a course that, is automatable and I could give to people at a reduced cost, because once I put it together, then it doesn't involve me anymore. And that I'm okay with. If I can get you 80% of the benefits and features of, say, my Skype online therapy program, which goes for $1,200, if I can get you that for 20% of the cost, again, 80% of the benefits and features for 20% of the cost, that's awesome. And then you've got all the other free content, to kind of fill in the holes, as well as you can always call or email me, and I'm here for support. So I thought that would be great. And it's just been over the last I had the idea, I think, a few months ago, really started coming together the last few weeks, and just in the last few days, you've really seen how I'm going to piece it together. And that's why today I'm so excited to share this news with you, because, it's cool to put a course out there and everything, and make money, but what I'm more excited about is making it more available to the masses, to getting the word out there as much as possible. And so that's my idea. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. That's the idea. Now, to get there, though, there's a little bit more work that needs to be done. Like I said, I've already invested tens of thousands of hours and tens of thousands of dollars to kind of get to where I'm at. Well, there's a few more hundred hours to be put in, and a few more hundreds of dollars to be invested in research and testing and things like that. Because again, I want to make sure that I put out the best quality material and content for you, so you guys get the most out of this program. And you might have noticed over the last few posts, maybe the last four or five, there's been some times where I talk about some products that I'm testing out, some of which are here, like the Spoon Mat or the Bluetooth polar heart rate monitor, or some app or something like that, asking you to donate. And those funds go towards these testing the things out, making better content, going towards a course, that kind of thing. And for those of you who have contributed, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I know I can speak for all the other posture guys and gals when I say they thank you as well, because it helps them out. But I have to be honest, as great it was, and I feel the love, I also felt sometimes like, I'm like, man, I feel bad even just asking for money. I want to give you guys something of value. And so what I wanted to do, and I kind of, again, had that ding idea, was I want to create this course, but I need some people to test it out. So what I'm going to do is, and I don't have exact numbers now, so don't quote me exactly on prices, but I want to create a kind of beta coaching program that everything that we do in this coaching program is going to be turned later on into this course that I'm talking about. Again, that course is going to be, 80% of the benefits and features of the Skype online therapy course at 20% of the cost. And this coaching program, I want to offer probably somewhere between 8 to 10% of the cost of the Skype therapy program, to make it very, very affordable for people to get into. And then, you're going to be getting all the information that I'm going to be releasing in the course. You'll probably get it with a little bit rough around the edges, right? Maybe the PDF isn't going to be as pretty as the final product will be, but you'll be the first ones to get it. And then later on, when we do make it pretty, we make version 1.0, you're going to get that at no extra charge. And then, when we upgrade it to 2.0 and 3.0 in the future, and I'm sure down the line the price will go up and all that stuff, you're going to always be grandfathered in and get the newest updated cost for being in the, if you want to say, the beta coaching program. So that's what I'm really excited to announce, because like I said, it's a way that I found that I could, take what I know and save you guys the tens of thousands of hours and tens of thousands of dollars that I spent working on myself, on my wife, on my friends and family, on clients, which, clients are friends and family, love you guys. Save you guys the trouble of all that, and just put together a concise program for you to follow. And then, again, if you need any little holes, filled in, call, email me, that's what I'm here for, all right? So that's what I'm so excited about today. This is something that I have I have like dreamt about for years, and finally just the little pieces like a puzzle have come together, and I'm going, all right, cool, this is possible. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not just talking about the light that's over the camera over here, but literally I can see there's hope for this thing coming together and helping tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. But I'm definitely gonna need your help. So definitely stay tuned, and I'll be talking about it in the upcoming video posts. All right, and as one other little treat I have for you, some people always ask, what do you mean like testing and reviewing stuff? We're gonna get into that at part 2, all the stuff here. But I always tell people, like, yeah, if anybody questions my determination or passion for testing out theories of health and fitness and everything, I always send them to a certain exercise. I've never made this public until now. It's always been private for friends, family, and a select few clients. But I think it's time to put it out now. It is it's a video of me testing out, this is a year ago, testing out cold shower therapy. Now, if you've never heard about this, it's basically what it sounds like, cold shower. And there's a lot of health benefits to it. I won't get into it now. You can watch the video. But it's pretty funny because I did it a year ago. It was in the dead center of winter in Poland. It was 8 degrees out the first day, and the video is of me doing the first cold shower, and I did 33 consecutive days of cold showers. And I'll tell you, it has amazing benefits, amazing results. So you'll learn something from the video, but you'll also probably just laugh your ass off laughing at me. So I hope you enjoy yourself at my expense. I still look at the video, I watched it today and just laughed at myself. So anyways, enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you inside of part 2 of this video, where we're going to talk about all the tools here and things that I'm looking into and other things to look forward to in future posts. All right? Anyways, thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you inside the next video. Until then, take care and keep moving.